been a year since we last did this. That's so exciting.
How amazing your room is. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Is that a
Gotta check out. Yeah, it's a dorm room. Gotta
call?
deck it out. It's such a small space. You gotta make it feel like homey and lively. This season, we see a lot of really new and exciting things coming Kimberly's way, including a new love interest, which is super cool. Do you think that your process of playing her was any different this time around? And how have both you and her grown since season one?
Good question. I think that the process of playing her wasn't so different. I think one of the more intimidating things that I faced was when we were lucky to get that call about season two, and then we went to work on it. It was the question of, wait, I did this character. I was in the momentum of doing this for a few months. How do I get back into it and play the same character? So that was kind of a little bit intimidating at first, but otherwise, I think we see Kimberly, I think because we have another season, we just get to know the girls more. And I think with Kimberly, we see that the stakes of her stay at Essex have become very high, and that they kind of take they're kind of the leading her, what's at the forefront of her mind. And I think that's what drives her in season two. So you'll see a Kimberly that's facing much bigger problem and who is growing into herself because she's forced to kind of grow up a little faster.
You guys have always had such beautiful understandings of your characters, and I love that. And I think that's part of what makes this show so authentic and so relatable and so real. Now, Reet, something we see with Bella in this season is her kind of trying to figure out who she wants to be. And that's a very relatable thing at that point in life. But she's also evolved quite a bit from season one. She's a bit of a different person, like Pauline was saying. What are your thoughts on her journey, and what are you hoping to see her do as the series evolves?
Yeah, she is, I think, quite drastically a different person. And spoken about this a couple of times today, just that a lot happened at the end of season one. She leaves the Catalan, she's sexually assaulted, she's called so many bad names by so many people around her. And as a result, she decides that she's going to return to Essex after Thanksgiving in a certain way. It's not the right way, the wrong way, but her coping mechanism is, I'm now going to objectify men. I'm going to be the boss of my own magazine. No one can hurt me. I'm not going to lose. As a result, whenever we go on that track, we do end up losing. And that's the humor of her. But we see her coping with the results of what happened in last season in a different way, and actually a more mature way. She's more mature, more intelligent, more grounded in her sexuality.
Switching gears a little bit because I want to talk about you guys, because you're Pauline. You grew up in a family who was very passionate about the arts. If I'm not mistaken, you grew up in an arts and actors building in Manhattan. You went to LaGuardia. Your mom was in the business. How would you say that those experiences and that surrounding has affected you as a person and as an actor?
I think I'm in a very, very fortunate situation, because I know that for so many people who work in the arts and entertainment, part of convincing their family and having their family understand that this is what they want to do is one of the hurdles in having this be their career. So I'm very grateful to have, that has never been the case. My parents, it was kind of a normal thing if we wanted to continue and on that path. So I think that just I feel very comfortable on set. I feel aware of the hard work that it takes, of the long hours that we have to work in order to bring this to life, and also an awareness, because most people in this industry, in the arts and entertainment generally, they're not like very wealthy. They're like trying to make a living. Every project, every gig is trying to make a living doing what it is they do. And I think that I'm so grateful to have an awareness of that if we're there 15 hours, and it means hair and makeup got there before, and it means that crew members have families that they have to go home to. And I think that being able to grow up knowing that makes it so that today when I'm working in this, I'm aware of it. And it's something that I felt I was always aware of.
Reed, the last time we talked, you said that your main takeaway from this show and from the message is that it's okay to have sex. Still one of my favorite answers I've ever heard, truly. You also talked about the importance of the ability to have conversations about sex, and this sort of definitely comes up a bit in season two. What do you think the way that the girls represent this in season two says about them? What do you hope that viewers kind of take away from it?
Wow, you took notes from last year. That's amazing. I feel like that makes me feel special or something.
Guys, that's my favorite interview ever. You guys are so wonderful.
Thank you. So the question is, what will they take away this season in terms of sexuality?
Yes.
Okay. Goodness, I think the show continues in the journey of exploring 4 different characters, having 4 different experiences, not just Bella, just everybody. And they're so unique in all their ways. And so that's the beauty of having an ensemble cast, that we're not stuck in looking at one person. So the audiences can see who they relate to. Bella continues in this season to go deeper in not conforming to ideals or labels. She doesn't, if someone asked her, what's your sexuality, she'd be like, I don't need to tell you, or like, I don't need to put a label on it. And I think that's really great for our generation, because right now people are looking to see examples of characters who are exploring and not labeling themselves. And that's a great example and encouragement in that sense, for the younger generation.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I loved season 2. I love this show. You guys are such a pleasure to talk to always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sydney. Thank you for your question.
Of course. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
Hi.
how are you? You both look so good. Oh my God.
Thanks, babe. You too.
Thank you. It's been a year since I last saw you guys. That's so cool.
I know.
November 2nd is like your day.
Looks just as cool. I remember this room.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a different format now. It's like they gave me a room with like the furniture is inverted. It's weird.
Sick.
So to dive right in, Renee, you've been a figure personally on a personal level. You've been a figure in my own life for some time now, and you're also someone who's helped me greatly in my own journey with my own sexuality. And in season 2, we see Leighton continue her journey and take some really big steps. What do you hope viewers take away from how her journey is portrayed, and what do you hope they learn?
I hope that people feel like hopefully exactly like you do, and in the fact that it helps, or even if it doesn't help, it maybe like sparks some sort of conversation, whether you need to have that conversation externally or internally or both. I feel like the reason I like started acting and doing music and like doing everything that I'm doing is just kind of like to make like friends in a really weird way. And so I hope that there's just like a little like gay cult around Leighton that we're all friends with. That's all I want, really.
I hope so too. Oh yeah, I found so much relatability in Whitney this season, primarily with just her fear of not knowing who she is beyond her passions. I think that's a really, really common thing, especially at that point in life. I was wondering what it feels like to play a college student, play someone at that point in her life, and if any of her experiences relate back to yours.
Oh, I mean, playing college is easy because I feel very much like I still am in college in ways. I know I'm not, but I graduated and then the pandemic happened. And so now I feel like I never really left.
You're right there still.
I'm still in it, right? But I feel like we all have those moments in life where we realize our jobs can't be our entire personalities, or you know what I mean? And luckily we do things, we have jobs that we love and are our hobbies as well, which sometimes complicates it even more. You know, how do I turn it off when it's the thing I also love to do when I'm not at work?
Yeah.
Personally, I've started doing pottery and that's really helped me. That's personal growth. But yeah, I think that's a very relatable idea. And I think it's something that I struggle with even now constantly. Me and Renee talk about it all the time because she's like, what do I do if I'm always writing songs? And that's my job. And I was like, keep writing them, we need the album.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like this is my whole life and that's what everyone knows me for. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's uncomfortable too sometimes because you're like, oh, wait, like, don't ask me that. You're like, you only know that. Yeah.
bizarre. It's fun though. I
Yeah.
get to talk to you guys. While watching season 2, I felt like both your characters have evolved so much from season 1,
Yeah.
which is very impressive in your acting abilities and also just Mindy and Justin's writing. Do you think that there were changes in how you guys interpret your own characters and just how you feel about them in general?
Yeah, totally. Totally. I think like I felt so much more just like in my body of this season. Like I was like, all right, I know her. You know, like you just kind of this season just felt like here is the material, execute. We've done this before. We have a little blueprint. Just like be and do. And I felt much more free to just like add my own little weird like mannerisms and things in the character, which is actually really nice.
Yeah. I felt like season 1, I struggled with Whitney so much because I lived so much in the soccer world. And I kept, as an actor, having to do so much trying to fill in, like, what does she do when she's not here? And I was like struggling to come up with things. I was like, dang, who is she? And I love that Mindy and Justin like gave us all a chance to like figure that out together. It sort of helped me as an actor relate to her more and get further into the character. I didn't have to have all those answers because what 18-year-old does have those answers. So yeah, it was a cool like writing trick to like figure the character out as the character figures herself out. I loved it. It was great.
I love that perspective of like you guys don't have to have all the answers because your characters don't. I love that so much. And Alyah, you had the best line in the water polo scene where you're like, have you played this before? What are the rules? I was cracking up. You both have had you've had experiences in both theater and on screen. Alyah in Book of Mormon and Renee in Mean Girls. Last time we talked about the contrast of the two, but I was wondering, do you guys have a favorite?
It's hard to choose. I think mine's different than yours.
Yeah, mine is neither. Mine is music.
That's true.
It is. Like, just to be totally honest, like I love all 3 of them, but like my favorite is music. What is your favorite? Yeah, is theater, right?
Yeah, well, it's different because as an actor in TV and film, I think you have a little bit more control and more agency in terms of like the way people will pay attention to your opinions and things. In theater, you just sort of like show up and they're like, here's the role you play and go.
Yeah, true.
But I love the theater because there's no, like TV is sort of an editor's like writer's medium, whereas like you kind of do the thing as an actor and then it goes somewhere and then they put it together however they want. Theater is just whatever happens here and now is what happens here and now. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I love that there's a live audience. I love that there's an exchange of energy. I love it. It's my first love and I miss it so much.
Totally.
I love it so much. There's a lot going on this season. The girls have a lot of new plot lines, a lot of new things. I was wondering if you guys each had like a favorite storyline that your girls go through.
Well, I'm just such a fan of Mekhi, who plays Eric.
God, we love Mekhi. God, we love Mekhi.
We literally love it. We have a group message with Mekhi. He's like one of my favorite people. I ask him for advice all the time. He's just a great friend and person. So I love seeing him and all of everyone though, like Alyah. So I mean, all of their scenes are just so good. Like our supporting cast like makes our show what it is. We wouldn't have anything without them.
I feel like Alyah and I just kind of exist as like fangirls of everybody on the show. Yeah. Like we're mainly just like, oh my God, yes! Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's also probably been like the coolest part of this season is being obsessed with Mekhi.
Yeah, and being obsessed with Renee. Like I'm such a fan of her. I'm like,
I'm such a fan of Alyah. It makes sense.
I'll be like, you ate? No, you did that. Oh, like, Renee, did you just do that?
It must be nauseating to be around the two of us.
No. Like for the record, from an outsider perspective, I'm having a great time right now.
We are too.
So like what was the dynamic like on set, like because this is so fun, like is it any different from last season? I know you talked about just knowing each other better and knowing the roles better. Was the dynamic that you guys all had together any different this time around?
I mean, we just have fun.
Yeah, like, we're also like like we're delirious. Like us now, we're tired in this interview and we're kind of a little bit kooky, but at work it's another level. Like we are versions of ourselves that really should only exist in that space, and I hope never are seen by the public, because we'll just go off and do weird things. I don't even know how to describe it, but it honestly translates so well to when they call action. Like we're still in a weird, playful improv-y space with each other naturally. So I don't know, it's kind of like delirium, chaos. It just works. I don't know.
It is, but I also, to be honest, I think it's so fun too, because like what I love is like, yes, like we're in a working environment, but like I feel like we conduct ourselves in a working environment in a way that is like enjoyable. Like I don't want to go to a job and be like, you know what I mean? Like I've done that. I'm actually good on it. I can't do that anymore for me personally. And so like it's so nice to be on set with Alyah and everybody because I'm just like, oh, like we just get to like have fun because at the end of the day we're literally just acting. It is not rocket science. It's amazing and I love it, but like we need to have fun. And we do. And we fuck around and it's awesome.
We do. We fuck around.
We do fuck around.
I love you. As you should. I love you guys so much. Everyone. So I go to college in the city, and everyone, all my friends here, like this show makes me wish I went to like normal person college because it does. Because you guys just have fun. Like, so you guys are the best. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you next November 2nd.
Awesome. Thank you. Good to see you.
Have a good one.
Whitney.